Hi guys, so me and Matt went to go and see Scream 7 last night, and I have some thoughts. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Bit of story time for you. So, I was actually a very late horror fan growing up. I didn't watch my first horror movie till I was, I think, 12, 13, which the first horror movie I ever watched was the original Saw movie. And I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. And from that, I discovered other genres. And that was why I watched the first Scream movie. And I was like, wow, this is really good. This is a really fun franchise. Like, who did this? And then it was Wes Craven who directed it, which people were like, oh, he was the guy who did Nightmare on Elm Street. He did like Freddy Krueger and that. So I ended up watching those movies, which got me onto Halloween and Child's Play and Friday the 13th. I'm more of a casual Friday the 13th fan. I'm not really that enamored with it. But still, yeah, that. And then I was a horror fan from then on. And I've loved that. I've loved this genre ever since. So, yeah, absolutely. So, in terms of Scream, this is a franchise that I would say up until now, it's been one of the most consistent horror franchises. Like, even when the ones that aren't that good, I still have fun watching them. I go, oh, it's a new Scream movie. Okay, cool, let's stick it on. But to be honest, when they announced Scream 7, and I thought, I just kind of thought, really? We're doing a seventh movie? But I was like, it's a Scream movie. It's gonna be a fun time regardless, I'm hoping. So, we have Kevin Williamson, who directed this movie, who was the original writer for Scream. I believe it was 1, 2, and 4 he wrote. And after 4, unfortunately, Wes Craven very sadly passed away. And then Scream 5 and 6 were passed on to the studio Radio Silence, who did stuff like Ready or Not, which I'm a huge fan of. So, yeah, they seem like the right guys to take it on. But now, there was a lot of controversy after Scream 6, where it seemed like Nev Campbell wanted to come back to Scream 6 for more money, understandably. I mean, she's like the mainstay. I don't know what the actual story is, whether she demanded more money or they wanted her to come back for less, or they didn't really meet her demands, or anything. I don't know the full story, but all I know is it was a pay dispute. She said no, so they wrote her out of Scream 6, which I didn't hate. I'm not one of these people who thinks that, well, if there's no Sydney, it's not Scream. I'm like, no, I don't mind them passing the torch to other characters. I mean, you had Melissa Barrera and you had Jenna Ortega. I thought, cool, this group can keep the franchise going and give it to a new generation. And I love that. That's perfect. Then after Scream 6, well, Scream 7 was in production, Melissa Barrera, sorry, I can't speak today. Melissa Barrera put out some political tweets. And I do think it was an overreaction of the studio to go, well, that doesn't align with us, so you're fired. So she was fired. And then shortly after she was fired, Jenna Ortega quit. I don't think, well, they said at the time it was because of scheduling conflicts with like Wednesday or something, but I think it's pretty much been confirmed that no, she left in solidarity with Melissa Barrera. So your two leads for this new era of the franchise have now gone, so it's like, what do we do now? So I imagine they drove up to Nev Campbell's house with a truckload of money and got on their knees and said, please come back for Scream 7. And she went, all right. Which I was fine with. I'm like, cool, Sydney's back. That's great. Let's see what happens. Okay, so let's start off with the positives of Scream 7. Nev Campbell, it's great to see her back. I mean, I love her as Sydney Prescott, or as she's known in this, Sydney Evans, because she's married now. But yeah, she never feels like she phones it in. It always feels like she loves this franchise and always gives it 110%. And I love it. It's perfect. We also get the introduction of her daughter, Tatum, which they even mentioned that she named her daughter after her friend from the original movie. The one who got stuck in the garage door. I thought that was a nice little kind of like reference. And I do like their relationship for what we see of it. I don't think we see enough of it, but I like the fact she's kind of, You know, she's not quite that overprotective mum, but she's definitely cautious. I mean, they could have easily done the whole thing of where she's this overprotective mum where she doesn't let her daughter go out, she doesn't let her daughter see people. You know, she still has a rule about boyfriends, which, you know, her dad had the same thing with her. But that's understandable because she's a parent. And, now, with a Scream movie, are the kills any good? Yes, I would say that they are pretty much on par with the other ones. There's one kill particular in a bar, which is, I'd say, was the standout kill. But it's a Ghostface. It's Ghostface kills. You know, it's like constant stabbing in the stomach, people being gutted. There's even a one where a knife goes through someone's head, which I actually thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the kills, they're fine. They're bloody, they're violent. It's what you want from a Scream movie. Now, unfortunately, that is the end of my positives because, unfortunately, guys, up until I saw the film yesterday, I would have said that Scream 3 is my least favourite. Well, not anymore. This is my least favourite. Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would actually say this is the worst of the franchise. This is actually the one Scream movie that I would say I dislike. Now, this is why I like sleeping on movies and not doing a review straight away, because a lot of the shorts I did in the early days where I would literally come out of the movie and quickly do a short just while my brain was still, I could still remember everything. But then I realised, no, you've got to go home, even if it's a late night screening, which it was. I think I got home about 11:30, which may be late to some people, might not. I got home and I thought, no, I'm going to sleep on it, wake up in the morning and see if my thoughts have changed. And I would say I like it less after mulling it over. And I've never, until this point, I couldn't actually say I dislike a film in the franchise. Even though Scream 3 would be the weakest before this one, there is still a lot I enjoy about Scream 3. It's a lot I want to rewatch, and I'd rewatch all of them. This is the one I don't think I'd rewatch because... Let's get into it, shall we? Let's start. Shall we start small and work our way up? Yeah. So, I mean, when they announced Scream 7, I just thought, really, Scream 7? I mean, it's going to be a fun time, but it just feels like this is a franchise that is well and truly running out of steam. Particularly now that they've had to cut a load of the new characters out because of, you know, behind-the-scenes drama and bring legacy characters back to kind of keep the franchise going. It just feels like they're clutching at straws and going, right, how can we keep this going? But, I mean, honestly, and here is, well, I said I was going to start small, but let's get on to the big thing. The one thing that makes this franchise unique is the meta commentary. Now, with the original, it was about slashers and horror in general. The second one was about sequels. The third one was about trilogies. The fourth one was talking about the whole kind of remake craze that was going on in the 2000s. The fifth one was talking about the requel craze, you know, the idea of like you disregard all the other sequels and this is the true sequel, you know. And the sixth one was the first one that didn't really have anything meta to say, mainly because it only came out like a year after Scream 5. But I still had fun with it. But I feel like the thing, and I know there's people out there who say, oh, you don't need the meta commentary for Scream movies. You know, it's just an added bonus. You know, some people actually think they go too far with the meta stuff. I think that's what makes this franchise unique, though, is the fact that it does have those moments where they talk about the rules of horror and the rules of these movies and what you can and can't do. And I love that. It makes it stand out. When you don't have any meta commentary in a Scream movie, you kind of lose a bit of that charm and a bit of that uniqueness, which was disappointing, because then it's just like, oh, now we just have generic slasher movie. And unfortunately, that's what I can say this is. This isn't, I mean, to be honest, there's nothing really that special about this franchise anymore. This started off as like, it was a great satire of horror movies. Now it seems to become the thing that it's satirizing, which is never a good place to be for a franchise. Let's see. The legacy characters they bring back. You notice I haven't mentioned Gale, Courtney Cox's character. because she's barely in this movie. She turns up like halfway through, and then for the third act, she just disappears. And you're like, it just felt... Now, talk about phoning it in. It did feel like she was there to phone it in. It felt like she was just there to go, yeah, I've got an afternoon free, so we just get this done so I can pick up my paycheck and go. I mean, it might not have been that, but it feels like that. And then you have the legacy characters from 5 and 6. It's almost like they were going, hey, 5 and 6 still happened. You know, we're not cutting those films out. This still happened. We have, who are they? Sort of Mindy and Chad, I believe it is. And Mindy is basically they built her up in Scream 5 to be like the new Randy, you know, the horror nerd who knows all the rules and knows all the tricks of horror movies and stuff. And then you've got Chad, who's just her partner, I suppose. Well, not in a romantic sense, but they're now working with Gail because Gail's trying to resurrect her reporting career or something. It just felt like such a mess. It was like, why are these people here? They don't have any relevance to the story. Actually, no, I'll tell you one thing. They do have a bit of a meta commentary on, and it's not necessarily about horror movies in general or anything like that. They have meta commentary about the fact that Sydney wasn't in Scream 6, because they even mention it like, yeah, he went in New York, you know, it wasn't the same without Sydney, you know, and I'm like, well, that feels a bit too on the nose, but I just thought it was like, that's the best you guys can do. Like, I don't know. And the Ghostface reveals, yeah, they were, I guessed one of them, I was like, knew it, and the second one, I was like, who are you? And it took me a few minutes. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember now. Yeah. But I was just like, and by the end, when they do the reveal and they're doing the whole, you know, kind of villain monologue of why they're doing it, I saw the film last night. I can't even remember what the motive was. I was just like, I don't care. It was 11 o'clock and I was like, can we just get this over with so I can go home? Because I was starting to get like, I was just starting to get bored, to be honest. Now, this isn't a spoiler at all. The one thing I felt like was pushing this film to kind of like get people to go and see it is the whole mystery of, is Stu Macher alive? Stu Macher being Matthew Lillard's character from the original Scream, where there was all this speculation for years, like when they rebooted the franchise with the fifth one of like, is Stu still alive? Did that TV actually kill him? Is he still out there like pulling the strings in the background? And the fact that this isn't a spoiler because the film shows its hand very early with like, oh, is Stu Macher alive? One, you've shown your hand very early, so I can kind of gather where this film is going. But also, I feel like if you didn't have that mystery element to it, there isn't really much driving this movie apart from, oh, there's another Ghostface killer. You know, it's just like, this is the one where I felt like, okay, if you want to cut the franchise now, I'm quite happy with that. But apparently it's doing really well at the box office. I mean, it's got a franchise best, apparently. So, and apparently they've already greenlit Scream 8. So, who am I to judge? Oh yeah, and just a little thing, just a little logic issue, which did bug me. They do the similar thing with the first movie where they have a curfew in place. So no one's allowed outside after a certain time. And there is a scene where Tatum, Sydney's daughter, is being chased through the streets, the dark streets, by Ghostface, and there's no one else out there. No one. It's like a deserted town. There's not even a cop car going around making sure everyone's keeping to the curfew. It's just, I was like, what? We just wandered into an abandoned town. It's one of those things that bugged me. But yeah, honestly, guys, I think I've ragged on this film enough. I mean, if you're a die-hard Scream fan, this is definitely going to be your least favourite. If you're a casual Scream fan, you might find something to enjoy about it. I mean, the kills are decent enough, but I would say this is probably going to be most people's bottom of the run kind of Scream movie. So, rating, I'm going to say it is a time waster. If you've got 2 hours free, you've got nothing better to do, maybe go and see Scream 7. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this franchise. I love Neve Campbell. I wish them all the best for the future, but yeah, this one just wasn't for me, guys. Okay, thanks for listening to me ramble on. I'm trying to be a bit more kind of structured with notes so I'm not just blabbing, but I end up blabbing anyway. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give it a like for us, and if you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much, guys.